Hello and welcome. I'm Abyss from Killjoy Gaming, and yes, I know I'm a day late. You can roast me in the comments about it later. But first, I need to say my normal spiel. 30 subscribers, we get a Discord. And in newer news, I have a real job. I will do my best to keep posting on Friday, and if I forget, it will be on Saturday. So cool your jets. Now with that out of the way, we can go back to small me and begin with the deck profile. Now this deck, like my new job, is doing something different. And when I mean different, I mean different entirely. Yes, I'm talking about Flower Cardian. Now this deck is extremely budget, but extremely terrible. This thing does not run hand traps at all. Because it is xenophobic, which means it does not work with other decks. Which is a problem in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. Everything is so splashable, the older stuff that is not so splashable gets left in the dust. I'm looking at you, super heavy samurais. But this budget deck has a URCP cost of 180, an SRCP cost of 270, a rare CP cost of 540, and a normal CP cost of 570. This is like what I want to see in a deck. Although I've been building so many decks lately, not even the one I'm about to show you today is technically complete. It's playable, yes. But ideally, you will want a full extra deck of Flower Cardians, or as full as you can get it with the Flower Cardians that have been released. And I would change one card in my main deck that I will tell you about later. Now, these cards are very unique, as in they just love to do other things. We're starting off with 3 copies of Flower Cardian Pine. When this card is normal summon, draw a card, show it, then send it to the graveyard unless it's a Flower Cardian monster. You can only use this effect of Flower Cardian Pine once per turn. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you draw a card. Advantage on advantage, I love seeing it, but you will see this deck runs into a big problem of bricking later on. Then we were running 3 copies of Flower Cardian Cherry Blossom with Curtain. Cannot be normal summon set, must be special summon by its own effect. You can reveal one card in your, or you can reveal this card in your hand and draw one card if you do show it. Then special summon this card if the drawn card is a Flower Cardian. Otherwise, send it and this card to the graveyard during either player's damage step. If when you control Flower Cardian monster and it battles an opponent's monster, you can discard this card and the battling monster gains 1000 attack till the end of this turn. Great for closing out games, but I prefer using it to continue my Synchro plays. I hate Synchro decks, and this makes Synchroing easy. You will find out about that later. If you control level 2 or lower Flower Cardian monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot normal summon monsters for the rest of this turn except for Flower Cardian monsters. There's one of your first Xenolocks you will see. Once per turn, you tribute 1 Flower Cardian monster, draw 1 card, and if you do, show it. And then if it's a Flower Cardian monster, you can take 1 Flower Cardian from your deck, except Flower Cardian Cherry Blossoms, and either add to your hand or special summon. Otherwise, send the card you drew to the graveyard. Hence why we are running no hand traps. Next, we're running 3 copies of Flower Cardian Peony with Butterfly, your first tuner monster. By the way, these are all warriors, and I should be running a Rhoda. I am now realizing that now. So please excuse me while I take this out and add a reinforcement of the army. My first version of this deck had reinforcement of the army, but I forgot this card existed for the better part of building this deck. Now back to Peony with Butterfly's effect. Cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summon from your hand by tributing 1 Flower Cardian monster except Flower Cardian, Peony, and Butterfly. If this card is special summon, draw a card, then show it. If it's a Flower Cardian monster, look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, place them all on the top or bottom in any order. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. When this card is used as a Synchro material, you can treat all other Synchro materials as level 2 monsters. This is how we make every single Synchro monster with monsters with outrageous levels. Next, we're running 3 copies of Flower Cardian Clover with Boar. Cannot be normal summoner set, must be special summoned from your hand by attributing a Flower Cardian monster, except this card. If this card is special summon, draw a card. If you do, then show it. If it's a Flower Cardian monster, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. Great removal tool. And since it can be special summoned, you are most likely decking your opponent out if they activate Maxx C. Next, running 3 copies of Flower Cardian Zebragrass. If you control a level 7 or lower Flower Cardian monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot normal summon or special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Flower Cardian monsters, your second Flower Cardian lock. If the card is normal special summon, you can reveal any number of Flower Cardian monsters in your hand, shuffle them into your deck, and then draw the same number of cards. This is great for hand fixing. Next, we're running 2 copies of Flower Cardian Maple with Deer. Cannot be normal summon, must be special summon by tribute Flower Cardian monster except itself. If this card is special summon, you can draw a card, and if you do, show it. If it's a Flower Cardian monster, you can destroy one or spell or trap card your opponent controls. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. This is great spell and trap removal. Too bad none of these are quick effects. It's only when they're special summoned. Now, this is what makes the deck tick. Flower Cardian Willow. While you control level 10 or lower Flower Cardian monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot normal summon or special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Flower Cardian monsters. Once per turn, you can target one Flower Cardian monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck. If you then draw 1 card. Great for recycling your Willows or just your tuners, because you only have 6 tuners in this deck. Next, you're running your other tuner, Flower Cardian Willow with Clearfur. Must be summoned from your hand by triggering the level 11 Flower Cardian monster except Flower Cardian Willow with Clearfur, aka Flower Cardian Willow. If the card is special summon, draw 1 card, and if you do show it, then special summon its Flower Cardian monster, otherwise send it to the graveyard. When this card uses Synchro material, retreat all the rest as level 2s. This is how you get into every single Synchro monster. I would be running 3 of all of these if I had the CP. As you can see, I do not. Next, you're running 2 copies of Flower Cardian I can't even pronounce that one, sorry. When you control level 11 or lower Flower Cardian monster, aka everything, this is the highest level Flower Cardian monster you have in the deck. You can special summon this, and you are Xeno locked. I don't feel like reading that again. When this card is targeted for attack, you can negate the attack and the battle phase and then draw 1 card. It's great to play this card because it's pretty much a battle fader if they can't negate it or destroy it. But we have ways of protecting it. Then we're running 1 copy of Rhoda. Sorry, everyone should have a Rhoda, so I will not add it to the CP total, but you know, I should have remembered this in the first place. Sorry, I was thinking about doing a Blue Eyes deck before this. Then we're running 3 copies of Flower Gathering, special meant for Flower Cardian monsters with 100 attack with different names, aka Pine. Nope, not that one. This one. Pine, Cherry Blossoms, Zebragrass, Willow, and Nope, still not going to do it. An attack, but their effects are negated. Also, they cannot be tributed for a tribute summon. You can only activate 1 Flower Gathering once per turn. By the way, I forgot to mention, their effects are also negated. You cannot normal special summon monsters during the turn you do this except for Flower Cardian monsters. Another Xenolock, because they thought they needed another one. Next, oop, I didn't mean to take that out. Back in the deck you go. We're running 3 copies of Flower Stacking. Choose 3 Flower Cardian monsters with different names from your deck. Place them on the top in any order during the main phase, except during the turn this card was sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card to trigger 1 of your Flower Cardian monsters in your graveyard and add to your hand. It's great for getting back your Willows and Tuners when you need them. Next, we're running 3 copies of Super Koi Koi. By the way, Flower Stacking plus Super Koi Koi, you will see later, is an instant level 6, which is either Moonflower Viewing, my bad, or Flower Cardian Boardfly. It's great the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can special summon any Flower Cardian monsters among them as possible, ignoring their summoning conditions, but they become level 2 and their effects are negated. You can use stacking to stack a tuner, and then activate Super Koi Koi to get it. Banish the remaining cards face down. If you do, you lose 1,000 life points for each. You can banish this card from your graveyard, tribute 1 monster, special 1 Flower Cardian monster, ignoring some conditions. You can only activate 1 Super Koi Koi once per turn. This is great when you have a Willow in your hand, but you do not have a Willow and Caligula in your hand, and not a Willow on the field. Finally, we are running 3 copies of Reincarnation. Target 1 Flower Cardian monster in your graveyard, add to your hand, then you can special summon 1 Flower Cardian monster in your hand, ignoring some limitations. By the way, you can summon Flower Cardian Willow with Clearfur with this effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a Flower Cardian monster effect, you can activate the top 5 cards of your deck, then add 1 excavated spell trap to your hand. Place rest on the top of your deck in any order. Not only does this get you a free spell, if you can hit in the top 5, it also makes it so you can stack all your Flower Cardians to the top. Now for the powerhouse synchros. Each one has something special about them. Flower Cardian Boardfly. If you control if a Flower Cardian monster you control attacks defense this monster, inflict piercing. That is amazing. Inflicting piercing with everything is great, especially when you have a 5,000 big bungus. Once per turn, you can banish a Flower Cardian monster from your graveyard until the end of your opponent's next turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards in the graveyard. Also, they cannot special summon monsters from the graveyard. This is a giant FU to any graveyard deck. I'm looking at you tier later on. Next, we're running. We should be running 3 copies of all of these, but I have 2 copies of Moonflowerweaving. Once per turn during your main phase, you can draw a card and show it. If it's a Flower Cardian, you can special summon it, ignoring summon conditions. And it can attack directly this turn. I didn't know that one. If you activate this effect, skip your next draw phase for your next turn. When this card is used for a Synchro material, you treat all other materials as level 2. This is your Synchro tuner. Just to get more card advantage if you need it. Next, we're running the Man, the House, the Myth, the Legend, Flower Cardian Lightshower. Your opponent cannot target Flower Cardian monsters you control with card effects, also they cannot be destroyed by card effects. This is great for stopping your opponent's Raigekis, Lightning Storms, anything that targets. During your opponent's draw phase, if they draw a card for their normal draw, inflict to 1,500. By the way, this is stacks. Once per turn during your opponent's end phase, activate one of these effects to keep your next draw phase, and negate this card's other effects into your opponent's next standby phase. So at your opponent's end phase, you can either skip your next draw phase, and if you're using Moonflowerweaving, you're going to be skipping your next draw phase anyways. Otherwise, negate its effects. You have almost no reason ever to negate its effects. You net enough cards when playing this deck to begin with. Finally, the big chungus. I'd love to run 3, but you can't always get it. Once per turn during either player's turn, when your opponent activates the spell or trap effect, you can negate the activation if you do destroy that card. If a Flower Cardian monster battles an opponent's monster, that opponent's monster's effects are negated during the battle phase only. If this face-up Synchro monster is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect while its owners control it, you can special summon 1 Flower Cardian Synchro monster from your extra deck except Flower Cardian Lightflare. Now the great thing about this is if they get rid of it, you can float into the wonderful Lightshower. And, just have another one. Really, we need better float targets for this thing. But the deck runs decently well. Now we're going to show you how this deck plays. And for some apparent reason, you're about to see why. Well, you actually won't, because I never got Maxx C. Of course, we're in gold, but I don't like playing in platinum. But most of these end on turn 2, except for the one that I bricked so hard. This deck does have a bricking problem, so be a note of that. Now I open with almost a complete and utter brick. I'm going to start with flower stacking, which turns this from a brick to a non-brick. Then we're going to activate Cherry Blossoms, reveal or draw into that. Then get Pine to our hand, realizing I made a mistake. Get Willow, shuffle that back into our deck, draw a card, activate another flower stacking so we can trigger the Peony. Tribute our Willow for the Peony, get another Willow, activate the Willow, put their stuff on the bottom of the deck with Peony, because I didn't like what I saw. Then we are going to go into a Moonflowerweaving, because I need more cards. Get a Pine, activate Flower Gathering, we now have everything we could ask for, tribute that for another Peony, Reincarnation, give me another Reincarnation, not realizing it changes the top cards of my deck. Go into a Lightshower, activate Reincarnation, get another Willow. Summon the Pine, get the Willow, shuffle a Pine back into our deck, draw another Pine, and then go into a second Lightshower. Now, double Lightshower is annoying. They're pretty formable, but that's 3,000 damage in one turn. Realizing they don't have an out for the Lightshowers, they surrender. Now for the big brick. It just happens we're fighting Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes are big, but our Flower Cardian bosses are just this big. Now this is a complete and utter brick, so I have to end here. They're gonna set 2 because they bricked, but they're still doing better than us. I draw into another Zebra Grass, which is still a brick. Any normal deck would have killed this by now. And Pine will do it. We will normal summon Pine, get impermed with that Pine. But we still have Pine on the field, which is what we need. Then we go into a Zebra Grass. They're going to Karma Cut our Pine to stop us from summoning our Zebra Grass. But since it's already been activated, it special summons itself anyways, because it's on the stack. Zebra Grass will help me fix my hand. We're going to get rid of that Willow, Palmola. I tried to pronounce it, and another Zebra Grass, and we like what we see. Getting a Cherry Blossoms, a Willow, and a Willow with Calligrapher. I need to start stocking up on tuners. Oh, we still have Willows in our hand. Willow comes down because we were able to get our Cherry Blossom Curtain. Now we'll go into a Willow with Calligrapher, drawing into another Willow. Reincarnation, adding Willow back to our hand. Summoning the Peony and Curtain. Attributing, revealing a Willow with Calligrapher that we knew was on top. Getting another Willow from our deck. Recycling the Zebra Grass. Drawing into Super Koi, then going into a Lightshower. We are now protected from card effects and targeting. Using Willow to shuffle Willow, drawing into a Peony, which is another tuner. Willow shuffling the Curtain. Getting another Flower Stacking, which we know gets us an instant 3. And since we already have the tuner, Super Koi will summon all 3 of those cards that we'd like to see. We go into Willow with Calligrapher. Realizing I should have put the Lightshower in attack mode so we could actually attack for lethal, because the 5,000 attack on an open board state would have won us the game. No, instead we are going to take them surrendering, because if they can't out Lightshower specifically, they're gonna Kaiju, realizing they Kaiju the wrong monster, and surrenders. Last but not least, we are going to show you the versatility of the Synchro pool. I really wish that was a Clover with Boar, but we're gonna Flower Stacking, revealing a Pine, Cherry Blossoms, and Willow. Even though we have 2 Willows in our hand, we can never see too many Willows. They're going to set a monster and pass. As you see over the course of this duel, we will get a Peony with Butterfly, but we won't get to see what we get to move to the top because they are playing Skull Servants, and I put a Skull Servant on the top of their deck. Now since I control level 1, I can use that, and I already know what my top cards are. Start summoning the level 12, which was a mistake. I should have just summoned a Zebra Grass. And we're going into... Actually, if I want to be technical, I should have summoned a Boar. Now we're going to cycle. Draw into a Peony with Butterfly, which is what we love to see. Then we get to change the top of their deck, activate another Willow. Then we are going to go into Lightshower. We now have protection online. Willow cycle Willow, draw into Willow, summon Willow. Realizing Willow cycle Willow, draw a Pine, activate Flower stat, gain from our grave that we activated on the first turn to get our tuner back. Then we're going to activate the one I don't like to pronounce. Tribute a Willow, go into Peony with Butterfly. Now we have a level 6, I can summon 2 Zebra Grass. Now we hope to cycle our hands with the 2 other Flower Cardian monsters, see if we can't draw into any spells. Flower stacking is amazing, means I get a free Boardfly off of this situation. All I need to do is stack 1 tuner, and there it is. And then 3 fodder cards. Activate Super Koi Koi, revealing Peony with Butterfly, Zebra, and Maple Deer. They are all level 2 due to Super Koi Koi's effect. Peony with Butterfly and Maple Deer are mandatory effects when they're summoned, so they had to activate here, though they are negated. Now we will go into a Boardfly and go to the battle phase. They're going to activate White Baking here. Getting Skin of Soul Servants and White Princess, and that's where they scoop it up. They were at 5,200, by the way. So, Lady in White has 2,200. They had 53 left. If Lady in White has 2,200, if I hit them with Lightshower, it would get destroyed, dealing 800, which would put them to 48. No. 53. 150. Would put them down to 47. They weren't dead, though. Because then Boardfly would hit directly for 2,000, bringing them down to 27. Then Lightshower would hit them on the next turn, hitting them for 15. Strange, I don't know why they surrendered. But this deck can combo off, but bricks like nobody's business. You are playing RNG to the max, which is what I love about jank. Is you never know what you're going to draw. And I thank you all for watching, and I shall see you next time. Hopefully on a Friday this time. Peace.